girls got 30. 30 of them things. And when you come out as an 80-year-old, you got to go to counseling.
No. He still got other charges in other states. Pending.
I'm talking about what this court said.
I doubt if they give him more time. Probably don't want to go down. But 30. Do we have any takes?
Not really. Not really.
Good riddance. That's mine. I don't. Like, again, there's no Kells in my laptop, phone. I don't listen to him anymore. Good. Like, I have a daughter, so I stand a little differently. Sorry. I saw people saying, oh, he didn't kill nobody, though, that's too long. I saw people saying, yeah, but what about the parents and what about the other people that were complacent in this? Yeah, get them too.
They should get them too.
But still get him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good point. I think they all should be. I think that manager from when we watched that Surviving R. Kelly, the I forget his manager's name, he definitely should be next. He should have been standing right there with him, getting sentenced as well. I am in agreement, but still, yes. They was trying to get his defense was asking for 10 years or something and trying to put it on the fact that he was traumatized in his youth. And fam, you've done this for 30 years, bragged about it. I didn't forget that toast on the boat with his people where he's like, oh, they coming now, baby. They too late. They should have did this 10 years ago. Like, that's what stands out to me more than anything.
Like, they didn't forget it either.
A million motherfuckers hate me, 40 billion motherfuckers loving me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna take this musical shit and I'm gonna inject these motherfuckers with this musical, beautiful motherfucking shit.
No, don't do that. I can't afford no more kids.
No. You understand? I am handcuffed like a lot of you motherfuckers. I'm handcuffed by my destiny. It's too late. They should have did this shit 30 years ago. It's too late. The music has been injected into the world. Okay? I hired my motherfucking self. I want to propose a toast to all the strong motherfuckers in here right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Motherfuckers like you is why I still continue to do what I do.
Can I with you? What?
ACP, did you see this?
Look, if it ain't official Dana J, Levi for Kelly, Primadonnanews, I don't even want to see it. Just take the time. Look. You got some weed? Dang. You gotta get some. Alright, hurry up. Diesel and them here, everybody here, we waiting on you.
The level of hypocrisy surrounding this whole topic is something that I've put on the forefront on my platform, considering all these individuals who enable these stories against Robert Kelly have no issue talking about what everybody knew for 30 years, but then want to bypass their own allegations, bypass the corruption involved in this case, and give their opinions when, if you think about their accusations, they're in no better position to talk about the topic at hand. Now, the most important thing that I wanted to point out in what was said was clearly how you see this media manipulation and people taking these sound bites and forming these ridiculous opinions without even looking into the facts of what they're talking about. But just being honest, I think some of these people are deliberately taking the most shocking details that they get from other people's perspective and using those as talking points instead of thinking outside the box and bringing some truth behind what they speak. Or maybe even a little common sense when some of these artists come out here talking about they're no longer listening to his music. Never mind, they've made music with him. Are they going to send him a check for all the money they've made off of him? I think not. The point in bringing that up is because clearly at this particular point, it don't matter what other people think about the accusations and or how these cases are proceeding. What matters is the problem that I've had from jump. When I watch these people systematically take away from this man's finances, even though clearly he's calling out to the public telling you people have been robbing him blind, then you're limiting his defense. What the hell would you expect to happen in court? Because of course, we're not going to dive in deep of all of these people who've been incited to use these platforms with malicious intent to speak on all of their opinions and avoid the fact that this man still has rights as an American citizen. Oh, but Black Lives Matter, huh?
And we begin with those disturbing details in the sex case against singer R. Kelly.
They are all laid out in graphic detail in federal court documents.
Nate Rogers is at the live desk with the latest. Nate.
Yeah, that's right, Corey and Don. Next month, jurors will hear from alleged victims of R. Kelly. Also, portions of the infamous alleged sex tapes could be played in court. According to legal documents, Kelly recorded sex acts with minors using a camcorder. He'd keep the camcorder along with VHS tapes in his gym bag and would take them, quote, almost everywhere he went.
In reading that proffer, I think the evidence against Kelly is pretty damning.
According to pretrial filings by the government from 1996 to 2001, R. Kelly engaged in sexual contact and acts with minors. Court documents allege Kelly met and began having sex with one of his alleged victims when she was 13 or 14 years old, often recording sex acts and eventually isolating her from family.
If you know what you're doing is wrong and you could get in trouble for it, why would you record it? And even more importantly, why would you share it with others?
The witness labeled Minor 1 is expected to testify that Kelly sent her and her parents on vacation to avoid talking about the infamous sex tape after it surfaced. Documents also claim from 2014 to 2015, Kelly made monthly payments to the alleged victims and her parents. Also, that the parents falsely testified that their daughter was not in the video.
The parents felt intimidated. It says right in there, one of their statements is the reason we went along with this is we feared Kelly and his organization, that we could be in fear of our lives or bodily harm.
Kelly and his two former employees have pled not guilty to the allegations.
There's no better evidence to present to a jury than a defendant's own words in his own voice, and that's what you have with these tapes, and the government has them.
Last month in New York, the singer was sentenced to 30 years in prison after found guilty of 9 charges of sex trafficking and racketeering.
I'm sure you're going to see some motions filed by the defense to try and limit some of the testimony or exclude it altogether.
And witnesses are also expected to testify how Kelly and his team paid tens of thousands of dollars to conceal sex tapes after they surfaced. Kelly's trial is slated for August 15th here in Chicago. Tonight, R. Kelly is in the federal prison in downtown Chicago. Corey and Dawn, back to you.
Home. She also testified to often seeing the girl at Kelly's recording studio, sometimes carrying a pillow and an overnight bag. The image that I saw looks exactly like Mr. Kelly, Perryman said, then IDing the female on the tape, citing her facial features and her cheekbones. During cross-examination, defense attorney Mark Martin inquired about Perryman's purported master's degree from a recording conservatory in Arizona, a degree she said took only months to acquire. I didn't go to Oxford or Harvard, no, Perryman replied. Also taking the stand was Jada Burnett, a family friend of the alleged victim. She said the female on the tape was about 12 or 13 at the time and noted her distinctive cheeks and facial structure. However, that's as far as she could go. Here's an exchange during cross-examination by defense attorney Sam Adam Jr. At some point, you'd have had to have seen her naked. You were so close, right? I've never seen her naked. 22-year-old Raven Gangler testified as well, saying the girl on the tape was her friend from junior high. She said that was something that was absolute and said the alleged victim was very proud of her relationship with R. Kelly. R. Kelly sat expressionless through most of the day's proceedings, and occasionally he would whisper something to attorney and basketball coaches. Joel Ray headed up the team from Oak Park's Percy Julian Middle School between 1994 and 2003.
Generation tape. that was filled with all sorts of video noise where you couldn't identify, in my opinion, anybody. That's my view of the tape.
There's an idea out there that because he sat in that courtroom stoic and he didn't show emotion and he didn't show any kind of concern, and I heard that said about him, sitting next to him, because I did every day, if you recall, I sat next to him every day of this trial and listened to him and talked to him. He was a very caring and concerned person. He just knew that every move that he made was going to be criticized, every move that he made was going to be watched, every move that he made was going to certainly come out in a newspaper or on television, and so his way of dealing with it was to be stoic.
Greenberg filed a motion today asking the state's attorney's office to make a request to all witnesses involved in this case to preserve all emails, texts, and social media posts. Greenberg accusing also Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx of having behind-the-scenes conversations with attorney Michael Avenatti, who says he represents some of the victims in this case. And R. Kelly's lawyer wants access to any and all communication coming out of Fox's office. He feels the timing of the charges filed against R. Kelly is suspicious.
There's all this pressure. There was a so-called documentary, which was really just a hatchet job that was done, and then they indicted these cases. And the problem is there was this call from the prosecutor. People call, let us know what happened. And so far, from what I can tell, the only people who called all of a sudden ended up with Michael Avenatti as their lawyer.
I talked to Angelo now. You got to get rid of Mason, and you have to get rid of this publicist because they are working with Avenatti. This was a whole, like this Gail King thing. They knew about this from like weeks ago, like they've been planning this. I know you don't probably want to listen to me, but please, you cannot let him do this interview on Monday. Like all of this stuff is a plan to just like put you apart and make shit worse.
Cannot let who do an interview?
This Daryl Johnson guy. The guy who's supposed to be like the publicist or whatever.
Rip me apart how?
Get you away?
Rip me apart how?
Like, it's just all things. Like, I don't know.
No. Just be specific. Be specific. Rip me apart how?
I don't know the how.
Okay, I want you to find out. I want you to find out how and let me know.
Something